5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome into 6 p.m. in Lincoln with former Nebraska linebacker Chris Kolarevic.
Intercepted, ball game over. Picked off by Chris Kolarevic.
This is 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic, sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, is my mic on? Are you sure? I don't know. Yep. I don't think I can hear it in my headset. Is it on?
It is on. I'll try to help you out. Yeah, but I can hear you.
Testing. Okay, I'm just gonna talk. It kind of sounds weird because I can't hear it in this headset. I don't know what it is. Let me try to turn on the volume. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's better.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Got it. All right, we're locked in. All right, it's 6:04 in Lincoln, Nebraska. So I'm just coming off a long day. So I'm over at Iowa Western and I'm coaching at Iowa Western, and I was just coming off. We're doing official visits right now. So we got, for the last week and a half, and we got another week of it, we get about 20, 30 kids on campus, and we just show them around and talk to them and tell them why Iowa Western's the greatest place in the world. So just coming off that, just drove here after that, wanted to do a show. I do have a guest coming on. Hang on, let me fix my seat. All right, that's a little better. I do have a guest coming on the show. Lauren Michelson's going to join us. She's a sports anchor in Omaha on TV, so she's going to join us at about 6:35. She's going to join us remotely. She's doing a show right now, and she's in Omaha, so couldn't make it in person, but she's going to come down on Zoom, and we're going to talk. So, yeah, just in the middle of these official visits right now, and it's an important time because we're coming off winning a national championship, and we need to reload. We lost almost our whole defense, so we need to get some guys in the building that can go win another national championship. Me personally, where I'm at, so we won the national championship, and I took a week, went and saw some family. And obviously with coaching and with football right now, it's a crazy business, and there's a lot of movement everywhere. Coaches don't typically stay at places very long, and I had some people reach out, and I had some people reach out about, hey, would you be interested in coming here, doing this job or that job? And I had a few conversations like that. And ultimately, like, I talked to my family, I thought about it, and this Iowa Western place is special where I'm at. And I'm not sure what the future holds for me and what I'm going to do yet. And I'm still navigating that, but I ended up deciding this is a great place for me to stay another year because of the quality of program and the quality of people that I'm working with every day. Winning a national championship at any level is hard. Winning 3 out of 4 straight is even harder. And you don't see that at hardly any level, even high school, wherever, JUCO, it doesn't matter. Winning 3 out of 4 national championships at any program is really hard to do. And I'm coaching for a guy named Scott Strohmeyer, and he's one of the best in the country at any level right now. And I think big schools would be crazy to not want him to coach for them. He understands the game. He understands how the game's changed. He understands kids. He understands how to navigate recruiting in the portal in this crazy football world. So getting to work with him and learn from him and how he approaches the game has been a huge blessing. And that made me want to stay another year just because of the quality of program and the quality of people that I'm around every day. So we're in the process of bringing recruits in. And what I'm seeing right now is what's interesting is with the portal, with everything going on, these big schools they're taking less college. They're taking less high school kids. So high school kids in the past, you'd typically bring in 25-ish, right around 25 high school kids to a Nebraska or a Michigan, those type of schools. They're bringing in 25. Even the FCS schools, they're bringing in 25, give or take a few. Now, I think it's more like 15. So what's happening is there's all these high school recruits that would have been bigger recruits, would have been a higher level, but now they're falling down and they're slipping down. So for our level, JUCO wise, we're getting some players that I don't think we would ever have gotten in the past. We're getting some dudes, some guys that are probably Power 5 kids and maybe would have been in the past, or at least walk-on guys, or at least late offer guys. But we're getting them in JUCO because of how crazy and how weird the portal and how everything is at that level is. And I think people now are even seeing, you look at Indiana, for example, their team was old. And I think people are realizing around the country that having older guys in the building, having guys who are weathered and have gone through wins and losses on a college football team, guys that are 22, 23 years old, regardless of how talented somebody is, a 22, 23-year-old that's been weathered and has physical talent is going to beat an 18-year-old 9 times out of 10. So the high school recruiting has become less and less important to those big schools. And I think it's kind of starting to become like a level system. So you have to work your way up. So if you go to JUCO, you work your way up to Division I. You go to Division II. A lot of these guys' goals is to work their way up to Division I. I mean, I did it. I went to an FCS school and then worked my way up to Nebraska, and that's kind of happening, I think, all over the country where kids are realizing. I just got off the phone with one kid, and he told me he's picking JUCO over some FBS offers that he had because he wants to be able to come in and play, get experience, and then move on to the next level. And I'm seeing that as a really good option for kids because it's kind of deciding between if you're an 18-year-old high school recruit and you're coming out. Obviously, if you're a big time top 300 recruit, no brainer, take the money and go to a big school. But if you're a guy who's a fringe guy, getting a couple offers, getting some interest, but trying to figure out where to go, you're probably going to end up sitting on the bench for a year, probably 2, maybe 3. On the flip side of that, you could come to a JUCO or a Division II, which JUCO is built for this. So I think JUCO is probably a better option than Division II for this. But you could come to a JUCO and play for 2 years, be on the field, actually get reps on the field, be coached, get better through doing rather than just sitting and watching, and ultimately I think become a better player and move on to that next level. And I'm somebody, and I think most football players are, I'm somebody I learn by doing, not watching. I don't learn a ton from watching, I learn from doing. And as a player, getting to sit there, getting to actually start games and getting to actually get reps in games and getting to learn from the film, from the reps of your games, playing against really good competition, Division I players across the board, that's a huge deal for guys that come to JUCO. And I see guys really prepared for that next level because they've weathered losses. They've had to learn how to lose. They've had to learn what it takes to win, the kind of habits and the kind of training and everything that it takes to win football games. And look, winning football games is not an easy thing to do at any level, whether it's high school, whether it's college. Nebraska knows that. It's not easy to win football games. It takes a force of will. It takes grit. It takes toughness. It takes talent. It takes chemistry. It takes teamwork. It takes a lot of things to win football games. And if you can learn how to win and you can learn how to take losses and bounce back quickly, you're a very valuable asset to a big team. So a lot of these JUCO guys I'm seeing even more and more now become big assets for these teams. So it's been interesting to see kind of how that dynamics played out, and we're getting a lot of really good players. So in the middle of official visits right now, and again, in a spot that is one of the best places to be in the country right now. You look at a lot of programs out there right now, and a lot of programs I think are a little bit confused. Like a lot of programs are a little bit like treading water, trying to figure out how to float, how to swim, and how to win, because there's so much chaos. Like the landscape of college football is just chaos right now. It's just chaos. There's nobody really knows what's going on. The rules change every couple months. The portal and NIL, money's flying everywhere. Transfers are flying everywhere. Crazy stuff's happening. Oh, she's on? Okay, yeah, you want to take a break first, or you want to go? Yeah, let's go. How long have I been going? Like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll have her on after the break. That work?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll see you guys soon.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, for brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back on. Lauren, are you here?
I'm here. I'm walking through the newsroom right now.
You're walking through the newsroom?
I'm walking through the newsroom.
Set up shop. We got about 45 minutes of show left.
45. Oh, you have an hour.
Yeah, I got a whole hour.
All right, sweet.
You could maybe turn the camera sideways too. I'm looking at the video. It'll fill up the whole screen then. I'll let you get set up.
Is that fine?
Yeah, that's good. And then it went okay. The screen that I'm looking at has a little delay. So I'm talking to okay. That's good. That looks good. All right, so talk to me. What did you just get done with the segment?
Just got done with the 5:30 show. We talked basketball, of course. I'm actually leaving for Ann Arbor Tuesday morning. So
big game. That's a huge game.
So that's huge.
I was watching the Minnesota game. They went down, what was it, 44-17 in the second half? And they ended up
they're down A, and this team just freaking finds a way every single time. And I think the most telling thing is if you saw that video Nebraska put out, I've never seen Hoiberg drop so many F-bombs in a halftime speech, but he laid into these guys, which was really cool.
And they put that video out with the F-bombs?
They bleeped them, but he has a nice hold on this team, and they really respect him. And him and Nate Lenzer at halftime just was like, guys, we got to get back to being us, meaning you're playing suffocating defense that can lead to these runs on the other end. And that's exactly what you saw when Price Sanford got so hot. 20 of his 22 points came in the second half. And Hoiberg's like, he's knocking off shots left and right. But the most impressive thing about his performance was the 10 boards, the 2 steals, the 4 blocks, like all around effort. And they're riding this 20-game win streak. And not a lot of people are talking about this, but Rink Mass, one of their best players, if not their best player, has kind of had a cold shooting go around the last 3 games. So they're doing this, and they're answering regardless of where they're playing, who they're playing, how much they're down. And one of their best players is a little bit cold right now. It's really impressive.
Yeah, the team's got some poise. Like they don't get nervous. You see a lot of teams when they go down, they get nervous and they start playing bad because they're down. But they stay calm. They've got a way of, and that's probably a lot to do with coaching that they have. They're able to stay calm and come back in those games and win. I mean, they've been down in a lot of these games, especially like I was watching the Minnesota one. They were down 20 points in the second half, and they were able to come back. They got a lot of calm, and they got a lot of poise.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing Hoiberg talks about all the time. Like what he likes most about this team is how even keeled they are. Like they don't get too high, they don't get too low. When things aren't going well, they just don't panic. And I mean, the hallmark of this team really this season is like that no matter what's going on, they find a way to get it done. And if they continue to play defense like they did in that second half, I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. Although, of course, Michigan's their biggest test yet. And if they win that game, I mean, that's the biggest regular season win in program history, if not one of the biggest wins in program history. It'd be really remarkable.
And the fact that they're undefeated going to Ann Arbor, it's a big game.
Yeah, I'm excited. We usually, like, local TV doesn't travel too much for road basketball games because, we have a budget. We save a lot of that budget for the postseason. So we'll be in Chicago for the Big Ten tournament. Andy Kendi and I have already booked hotels for wherever Nebraska will be playing in March. So Oklahoma City and Portland and St. Louis. And so it's cool. It's very telling that even like our bosses here on the news side are like, yeah, this is worthy of you guys traveling and covering for a quick 24-hour trip.
It's definitely worth traveling and covering.
Mm-hmm.
No question about it. It's that type of game where, Nebraska basketball hasn't been good since I've been following Nebraska, since I've been here, and to see them have that success, it's a big deal, and it's great for the whole school when a team's successful like that. What do you think about the game heading into the game? What do you think? How do you think the team's feeling? How do you think the team's doing? Do you think they're ready to roll?
I just think they're on cloud nine. I mean, I think I would feel more nervous if adversity has not hit them or even adversity on the road. But the fact that they've found ways to overcome everything that's gone wrong. And then you have your Big Ten freshman of the week and All-American. I mean, Braden Frager is not even playing. And, Jared Garcia stepping up in his place didn't quite have the showing people had hoped for. But then you look at the bench, and there's so much depth on their bench with Kale Jacobson, and then you have your do-it-all guy, Mr. Everything. Sam Hoiberg is just amazing. Like, there's just a lot of individual great storylines. So yeah, I think they're as well prepared for this one as they can be. I think it was almost better that things did not go perfectly at Minnesota, because they know the fight they're going to need to play here at the Chrysler Center on Tuesday. And Nebraska fans are going to lose it if they win this game.
They're going to lose it. It's going to be a crazy game. And I think that's a good point, where there's something people talk about in football all the time, where if you lose a game early in the season, sometimes it helps you down the road because you kind of fix the things that were wrong. And maybe to have a game that didn't go, I mean, they did end up winning, but to have a game where things didn't go all right, it can kind of make you a better team when you have that kind of thing happen.
Yeah, I think so. I hope. I would love nothing more than to cover this team in like a historic Elite Eight run. And I mean, let's just keep this
Elite
rolling.
We got to go Final Four. We're going to go Elite Eight. We might as well go Final
At this
Four.
point. I mean, can you imagine you go all these years without winning a single game in the NCAA tournament, and then you're putting together this unreal, like, magical season, and everyone's locked in. And if I hear like national announcers say one more time, like, they're just not athletic, and I get it. I get what they're saying, but don't tell me Sam Hoiberg diving for balls and swatting and using his hands and just being absolutely physical is not athletic. It's just, they just have their own niche, and it's just, they're so fun to watch. Like, I love college basketball, and we're all tuned in March, but like, tell me a team that's as fun to watch as Nebraska right now. Like, state or nationwide, any team you're a fan of, like, everyone's locked into this team right now.
Yeah, I can't name one. They're awesome. Yeah, it's fun to watch for sure. And it's a Nebraska team that I can't remember, when was the last time Nebraska was good at basketball? Do you remember?
I've been covering this team for almost 4 years, and I mean, 2018, I guess, maybe, but nothing. We've never seen anything like this.
Yeah. So you've been covering them for 5 years. Take me through what made you get into sports broadcasting, how that's been, who you're working for. Like, kind of tell me a little bit about your story.
Yes. So I am from the Kansas City area, and grew up with a twin brother. So a lot of my childhood, I played sports like soccer, a little volleyball. I was horrible at it. But my favorite part of growing up was sitting with my dad on the bleachers and standing on the sidelines, and he'd be coaching my brother's baseball and football and just learning the game from him. So I kind of knew really early on that like sports was something I wanted to do. I just liked the way it brought people together. I liked the storylines around it. It was a really big part of our lives. And so, I'm horrible at math, horrible at numbers, knew I wanted to do some type of journalism, creative, and realized you could put the two together like in 7th grade, and kind of have only wanted to do this my entire life. And so went to the University of Missouri, got my degree while also working as a weekend sports anchor at an NBC affiliate station there, covering the Mizzou Tigers. So cut my teeth there, and then moved to Lincoln 3 weeks after graduating in 2022. And then I've been in Lincoln. I was in Lincoln for about a year and a half, and then Omaha. I'm at KETV, which is the ABC affiliate here in Omaha. Came calling a little while after, and so I've been here 2 years in February. So
cool. So how do you prepare for your segments? Is there something you do to prepare? Like, how much sports are you watching? Do you watch a lot of sports, and how do you prepare for your segments? Is it is it a teleprompter, or is it like, are you on there just talking?
It depends on what it is. Like, and it kind of depends on like highlights. You just kind of talk. You maybe put like trends, like if it's a 10-2 run or whatever to remind yourself. But yeah, it's like a mix of ad-libbing and prompter. You do have a prompter, but you don't want to rely on the prompter because the prompter can go out. But no, like, I mean, we're same ways as a coach, you're preparing, you're always locked in, you're always keeping tabs. Like, you're not really ever off, but you know, we love these professions because you don't really want to be off ever. Like, I love this. So a lot of reading up, a lot of always having something on in the background, a lot of podcasts while driving. Got to get something to make that I-80 drive to Lincoln go by quicker. And so yeah, you're always keeping tabs. And I do a lot of this type of stuff, radio hits, and that keeps me forced to know what's going on, even if I take a couple days off or whatever. And then, yeah, like anchoring, you know, some days I'm anchoring in studio, probably 2 to 3 days a week. And then other days I'm reporting like live at a game or telling a story. So those days look different. But when you're anchoring, you write and edit your own show. A lot of people don't know that. So
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, no one's like writing what I'm talking about.
So you write it and then it goes on the teleprompter?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. You're right. I don't think most people know that. And I've been watching, I mean, Sports Center was my favorite show growing up. I mean, that's all. And I didn't know that was how it worked, to be honest with you.
Well, at the Sports Center level, they're probably not writing their own stuff. But yeah, local TV, like especially local TV sports, you only have a couple sports reporters, sports talent at every station. And so you just kind of have to be able to do it all. And eventually the hope, you get to a network level maybe, and then you kind of can ease up on that type of work. But you know, you want to be you want to be reading what you write. You don't really want to read what other people write necessarily.
Oh, future Lauren Michelson's going to be on Sports Center is what we're hearing.
No, I don't know about that.
That was Jake's,
I don't know about that. Maybe a Big Ten network. That would be. That would
introduce our host, our amazing host, best producer in the whole country, Jake.
I appreciate
over here. Jake, we're going to see her on Big Ten Network in the next couple of years. That's what she's saying.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be pretty cool. Huh?
That would be cool.
And she came at 6 p.m. in Lincoln when she was still, you know, at the Omaha level, but she's going to be on Big Ten Network soon.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool. And you're good at it. Like, I've watched some of your segments and you do a good job with it. And I think,
thank you.
I think people can tell, like, at least from my perspective, I think people can tell when you're watching a segment, when you're watching somebody talk about the sport or whatever's going on in the story, you can tell when that person actually knows what they're talking about and is somewhat invested in what they're doing and is invested and knows. Like, it just comes with the little details, even like some of the little details you shared about the basketball team. It's like you understand some of the details and you're able to shed light on things that maybe fans or people can't see because they're not a part of the team, and you're able to show, like, give an inside look on what's really going on. And I think that's where really good broadcasting comes in.
1000%. Like, we have the best jobs in the world, in my opinion. Like, this is a dream job, and like it's a privilege to be able to have access that not everyone does. So, you know, in that sense, our job is to be the eyes and ears and know what we're talking about. And I don't know everything, but I do know a lot. And my goal is to hunt down the answers if I don't know them. So yeah, it's a really enjoyable job. And you know what, like, Nebraska's just, I had never even been to Nebraska before moving to Lincoln, which is crazy because I'm from Kansas City, but and I would love nothing more than to go back to like the Big 8 days and not have these super conferences. And like, that would be so awesome.
You don't like it? Why don't you like it?
I mean, I think I speak for most sports fans. I just don't like how college sports is trending in general right now. Like, that's the statement of the century this year.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Okay, why do you not agree with it?
I think it's more entertaining than it's ever been. I think it's more fun. I think when have we ever seen an Indiana win a national championship? I think it's cool that more teams are able to compete. I think it's cool how not all the talent just goes to Alabama or Michigan. Like, any team can get talent, any team can develop players. And I think you see more interesting storylines. I think you see more things that surprise you. And it's chaos for sure. I live in it every day. It's chaos. There's a lot going on, and it's a challenging thing to navigate, especially for guys that have been in the industry for 30, 40 years who have done it one way, and now it's different. It's a challenging thing to navigate. But what I've noticed is it's a mess, and there's all this crazy stuff going on, but it's kind of balancing itself out almost, where when the portal first opened, everybody went in the portal. It was like it was great. Everybody went in it, and everybody found a home. But now it's getting to the point where people are realizing, and kids are realizing, like, oh, it might be better to stay at the school I'm at, where I've actually built a relationship with people, and moving halfway across the country to people I don't know just because I didn't play my freshman year is maybe not the best idea. So I've noticed more and more programs being able to keep players, and I think it's kind of balancing out naturally. And there's all this call for change, and we need to fix this. But I think with situations like this, or when there's a lot of change and when there's a lot of things happening, I think things kind of balance themselves out naturally. And I think that's what's happening. And even you look at Indiana. Indiana was an old team. They're a team of 22 and 23-year-olds. And if you have a team of 18-year-olds, they're not going to be able to compete with people that have been playing the sport for 4 or 5 years, and just because they have that game experience. So it's kind of becoming almost like, I was talking about it before you got on the show, but I've noticed it's kind of becoming like there's levels to it now, where you kind of have to work your way up. Like high school there's less high school recruits going straight to the Big Ten. It's more like dudes are having to work their way up from, whether it's Division II, whether it's FCS, whether it's JUCO, they're having to work their way up to different schools and get experience. So by the time that they're playing for an Indiana, by the time they're playing for Nebraska, they have some experience. They've taken some losses. They understand what it takes to win. And I think just overall, the system is kind of balancing itself out naturally. And I think over time, like, it's a mess right now. And of course it was going to be a mess, like introducing, like, obviously players and probably getting paid forever, but introducing like publicly players getting paid, and anybody can transfer at any time. Like, that was going to change the sport. But I think over time that it kind of balances itself out. And I think it'll be more normal. I mean, say 5-10 years from now, I think it'll just be normal. It'll just be what we do, and the system will kind of balance itself out.
Yeah, well, that's a really refreshing perspective, because a lot of it is all doomsday. Like, we need change right now.
We talked about this on here. Like, I'm so tired of the doom and gloom. It's like it is what it is. Like, and I get a little bit tired of people talking about how messed up everything is and how bad everything is. And I just, every system's going to have its flaws, but it's like, if you're playing chess, are you going to complain about the bishop being able to move a certain way? Like, you just play it, and the game is how it is, and the winners and the ones that can win are figuring out how to navigate it and navigate the chaos, and the ones that aren't.
That's a good point. Actually, that's a great point. I think I do agree also with the fact that, like, this was the most entertaining year of college football we've seen in a long time.
I think it was.
And Indiana winning was awesome, and Kurt Signetti's story is incredible, and him as a person and a character is outstanding. And Fernando Mendoza, how do you not love that guy? So yeah, there's always, like anything in life, the good and the bad. And so, okay, maybe I'll take the positive stance with you and hope that it figures itself out in the next.
I try to be an optimist.
It's a good trait.
Things are a mess sometimes. Things are usually a mess. Like, things are usually a mess, but I try to be an optimist.
That is a good trait. Good trait for a coach. Good trait for a coach.
I do my best. So talk to me about this Nebraska Huskers. What are you hearing about the Nebraska Huskers these days? I know you cover them. What's going on with the football program?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Calandria, I think, is a good fit. I like that he's a mobile quarterback without being, like, totally dual threat. Like, they just.
I don't pay attention much, to be honest with you.
Where'd he come from? UNLV.
Okay.
Mountain West Player of the Year. Pretty good completion rate. Actually, good completion rate. Can't remember exactly what it was. Like 67, 3,500 yards. But he's really good at extending plays with his legs. And Dylan Raiola didn't do that. They're very different quarterback wise. But I think the best thing that Anthony Calandria can do for Nebraska is what we've seen in this offseason. Like, they didn't go after a flashy quarterback that would have cost $3.5 million or whatever they're paying Dylan Raiola, because I don't know for sure. They're still paying him well to be competitive here. but to keep him here, he need, money drives a lot right now. But they're building it up around him. They're investing in some defensive experience, sizable defensive linemen. They've got some big boys up front, offensive linemen they got in the portal.
That's
And
where
they're
you
kind of,
win, really.
what'd you say?
That's where you win games, the trenches.
That's where you win games. And I'm like, why are we spending this much on a quarterback? And it's consistently year after year, your trenches cannot compete. Yeah. So I actually think this has been a great off-season recruiting cycle and transfer portal for Nebraska because of that. And I actually did an interview. The wildest news this week was 2027 quarterback Trey Taylor out of Chicago announcing he was transferring from his school, Carmel Catholic in Chicago, to Millard South in Omaha. And I'm sure you all know this, but he'll be commuting from Lincoln. He's going to be living in Lincoln to Omaha every day to attend Millard South his senior year, play for the Patriots. And, he said Coach Rule totally supported it. And I don't know how much help is going into all that, but he's 17-year-old, and he is completely investing in his future at Nebraska. So it is good to see how much stability they could potentially have in that 2027 class with a handful of local players going. And then now you have 2 out-of-state players as well as Tay Ellis coming to Millard South to play. It's kind of, we have not seen something like that in the state of Nebraska ever.
I don't know if I've seen anything. I've been watching football and paying attention to football like it was my job since I was 6. And I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I really don't. And I used to look at recruiting stuff when I'd be 10 years old and look up recruiting stuff on my computer. And I don't remember seeing anything like that before, where a kid moves states to go play for a high school near the college that he's going to attend in his senior year. That one was, it's kind of unprecedented, but I don't know, with the crazy world that we live in and the crazy college football landscape, it might be a good move. We'll see.
I know. Yeah. He just was like, hey, it's basically a red shirt year. It's going to get me acclimated. I want to do everything in my power so that when I step foot on campus as a true freshman ready to play, I want to be able to play my freshman year. We'll see what happens, but he is going to be right there. I don't know what it's going to be so interesting next time we talk to Coach Rule to see what he can even do, because I don't know if he's allowed and how often he's allowed.
You wonder what the behind the scenes conversations were happening, how that was made to happen. Because it feels like something that maybe shouldn't be able to happen, but they made it happen, and it'll be cool to watch. By the way, that Millard South team that they had this year was unbelievable.
Multiple Division I commits, Jet Smala at quarterback.
Undersell.
Yeah. They were, I've never seen anything like it. They were so fun to cover because they won every game and had this crazy offense. And all these Division I commits, and Jet Smala, their quarterback, early enrollee at Alabama now, broke multiple Class A passing records, touchdown records, everything. Great young man, great family, but they took a lot of heat because of people, obviously upset at a lot of things in the transferring, but a lot of people don't know Nebraska has open enrollment. So these student athletes are allowed to live anywhere in the state and have one opportunity to transfer to any high school they want in their career. So it is allowed. That's on the NSA if they want to tighten up those rules.
Is paying them allowed?
No.
I'm sure it might be maybe happening, but
I can't speak on that. That'd be all speculation. But
I would imagine it's happening. But you are allowed to transfer in Nebraska.
You are allowed open enrollment once in your career. And last year's Millard South team, people hate to admit it, but they did have a lot of them were young players that grew up playing on your club teams together and your young Patriots leagues, and then they kind of go their separate ways and then came back. So I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad, but we did witness the best football team probably in the state of, at the high school level in the state of Nebraska this year, which was really fun to cover.
Nebraska history.
Nebraska history.
I haven't seen a team like that in a long time.
Ever.
I grew up in Michigan, and I saw a Cass Tech in Michigan, Detroit Cast Tech, they had a couple like that where they had a dozen Division I commits. But I mean, this team might have been even better than anyone I saw.
My gosh. It was so fun to watch. And it is going to be interesting what high school football is like with Troy Taylor and Taylor in town next year, because you are watching two future Huskers who are set to potentially see the field in a year. I imagine
they'll draw some crowds over there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We do still heavily cover high school football on Fridays and do a whole show. And I'm live from like our game of the week every week. And I have a feeling I'll be at Millard South a lot.
We need to get you to start covering some JUCO football.
I know I've been to a few games. Your Saturday morning can be tough, obviously, because it's Nebraska.
Because it's on the same day as the Huskers.
Yeah,
so maybe like a bye week. We get you guys to come out and cover a game, because they're fun and look, like I didn't play JUCO and I never was around it, and I just did my first year coaching there, and I was honestly pleasantly surprised and shocked about the talent level on the field. Like, we had our quarterback just committed to Florida State. And then we had, I think, 15 guys on our defense signed to FBS schools. So the talent level on the field is kind of crazy. And it's a little bit hidden because obviously you got Nebraska and you got a lot of good high school teams in the area, but it's a pretty cool thing to cover. And it would be awesome to get you guys down there at some point.
Yeah, we try and make an effort. I've been to a couple games. My coworker Matt, who just actually left to go back home to Connecticut, he's done a couple great stories with you guys, and it's, you guys are winning. That's the thing. So it is easy to want to cover a winning program, and when it's the dynasty that Iowa Western has had now at the JUCO ranks is pretty cool.
Yeah, winning definitely makes the sport more fun. We have to go take a break real quick. We're going to be gone for about how long, Jake? How long we need to take a break for?
3 minutes.
All right, we're going to be gone about 3 minutes, and then we'll be back.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, take the worm, put it on the hook. Now bring your pole back and throw it forward. And just let the fish come to you.
I got a bite! It's a big one, Dad!
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. All your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and is unpredictable.
In program history.
150-yard par 4 with top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional. Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back. We got one more segment. What do we have, like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, we got about 15 minutes. It just started snowing in Lincoln. That's fun. I bet I know the drive back will be fun. But so you still with us?
I'm here, and it's.
All right.
I don't think it's snowing. I should have listened to our meteorologist Luke Vickery's forecast a little bit closer.
You only broadcast sports, right? You're not involved with any of the other parts of the news.
Just sports. They don't. We're in our own little bubble, and probably should pay attention more to the happenings around. But when they need us, they let us know.
Is there any other news that's important besides sports news, really?
And well, yeah. To some people, absolutely. To some people.
To some people. So tell me, what's your favorite part about broadcasting? What's your favorite part about doing what you do?
The people, like in every sense, like one, just like, especially because I've been here like a couple years now, and one, like the Nebraska media contingent is full of really outstanding broadcasters and writers and creators, and everyone is just very passionate, and it's very cool meeting people and just learning their stories, and you make great friendships, and this job's a lot of weird hours. Like my days off are weird. I work a lot long days. I work evenings, so similar to you in a sense, and you just really have to love what you do and love the people you do it with to like last in the business.
100%.
And then on the flip side, interviewing and telling stories and like covering these remarkable runs and parts of sports history, like we are seeing with Nebraska basketball this year, and incredible moments and things as simple as like when Nebraska football went on the road at Maryland this year, and Dylan Raiola orchestrated that game-winning drive, hit Dane Keefe for the go-ahead touchdown to win, and then you have these fans that packed the stadium, stayed to the end, and Nebraska's walking around the stadium and talking to all the fans and celebrating with them. Like that was one of the biggest bright spots of the season for them. We got to be there and cover it. And it's just really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool to cover that kind of thing. And I agree with you 100% on the people thing, regardless of what you do or what your profession is or what you do day to day. Like the people make what you do. And I was actually just talking, it's funny you brought that up because I was just talking to Jake about that before you even said it, where I'm in a spot right now where I had a hard time leaving where I'm at just because I've been in environments where it wasn't the right fit for me and the people weren't the right fit. And now I'm in an environment where the people are awesome and I couldn't ask for better people to be around. And that's a hard thing to leave. And I had some opportunities to go and ended up staying because it's hard to find people that just get it, who know how to win, who are enjoyable to work with, be around. So I would agree with what you said about the people thing.
Yeah. It's hard. I just made a decision to re-sign a contract and stay here. And, it can be hard to think you need to continue to, thank you, to continue to climb and leave and chase more and want more. But, the grass is not always greener on the other side. And when you have something good, I think it'd be playing with fire to try and leave it before you're ready. And this place is great.
You kind of sense when you're ready, right? Like for me, I've always been able to, it's like a feeling I get. I can feel it in my gut when I'm ready. Because you're right. Like the grass is really green where you water it. And being in a rush to always move forward and progress is not always the right move. Sometimes it's just letting things play out and feeling out, okay, now I'm ready to leave. But I think when you're in a spot where you're in a good spot and you like the people you work with, you like what you do, trying to progress too quickly when you're not ready for that is sometimes not the right move, even if there might be a place you could advance to.
Yeah, it's words to live by. But yeah, and we're in our, how things are now. And I mean, you see it probably with athletes too. Like you're comparing numbers and money and like what you can get. And social media is such a big part of that for every profession and for in the sports world, absolutely, with whatever you're doing. So it's a good lesson for a lot of these like college athletes too, is you can test the waters, but like sometimes it's worth staying and building what you have. And I think you mentioned earlier you are seeing that more, which is very
that
good.
more. And I know a lot of guys around the country. I played for a couple different teams in college, and then I played a little bit after that. And then obviously with JUCO, I talk to guys all over the place that recruit my guys. And I've talked to a ton of these programs all over the place. And that's kind of what I'm seeing happen, even over at like a lot of these schools, even the bigger ones, that they're not losing players like they did a couple years ago. Because I think a lot of these kids, what kind of happened was a lot of these kids, they saw their friends leave, and then they saw their friend really having not a good time at the next school, because when you come in as a transfer, it's a little bit different. You don't build those relationships from the ground up. It's like you're more of an outsider. And I think it works out for a lot of people, and it's worked out for a lot of kids that transferred and went to a new school and they did great at their new school. But it also for a lot of kids will go in the portal and not get picked up, or a lot of kids will go to a school and it's even if it might be a higher level or a better school on paper, the situation might not work out in their favor. So I think people kind of see the risk involved, and I think it's kind of balancing out, and kids aren't leaving as much.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Well, okay, on that note, I know it's your show, but I do have a question for you. I'm going to flip it. And people ask me this all the time, and it's so hard to answer because I'm not inside the program, and they do keep us, like, I have some nice connections within Nebraska football, but you're never going to really know unless you're in it. But you played there for what, 2 years?
2, yeah.
2. So, and were you under Frost only?
Yeah, only for Mickey Joseph.
Oh, Mickey, I enjoyed covering him, but
I enjoyed playing for him.
yeah, he was a good man. But anywho, when people ask like why has winning eluded Nebraska football for so long, when you think all encompassing, not just like, they're making it to bowls now, they're reaching a little bit of what they need to be at, but like Rule so often talks about he had to build from the ground up, and nutrition and the weight room and all these things that don't even count for on the field success because it was a mess beforehand. Like, can you speak on that at all? Like, what was it in that big of shambles at the end of Frost's tenure?
Yes, it was a mess. It was a mess to play for. So I came from a program. Well, in high school, I played for a school called Traverse City St. Francis, which is one of the best. It's a smaller school, but it's one of the best programs in Michigan in high school. And then I went and played for Northern Iowa, where by the time I left, we were the number 2 ranked FCS team in the country, and we had things kind of rolling. And so I had been a part of pretty good programs, and I've been around some really awesome coaches, and I've been around programs that had it kind of figured out. And it was in shambles because there was a lack of solid leadership. There was a lack of strong leadership where you need somebody in the building to kind of be the one that's going to say the stuff that nobody wants to hear. You need somebody to be the one that, will say the things that maybe the elephant in the room that nobody wants to hear. They'll call people out for things that people don't want to be called out for. And to me, there was just a lack of that. There was a lack of that kind of toughness, but also accountability, where I think there wasn't anybody holding people accountable in the building. And I think that's the reason that it was a mess. There wasn't a team. There wasn't a unified team. It was a bunch of individuals not being held accountable for whether it's off the field or on the field, what they were doing. And that's what I saw. A lack of strong leadership from a standpoint of, when I say strong leadership, I mean somebody that's willing to make the hard decisions and stand on the hard decisions, somebody that's willing to say the things that other people might not want to say but need to be said. And I think that's where it stemmed from.
That's fascinating because I do think like fans here so badly want an answer now and like change now and get really caught up in, the bad, which is understandable because what we saw in the Las Vegas Bowl was not good. But when you go back and look at what Coach Rule inherited, if that really was the case, and having to change so much, like he's on track in a way if it was that big of a job.
Yeah, he had to change the culture, like the whole culture of not only the program, not only the football program, but the city had to change. The whole culture of it had to change, and it wasn't in a good spot. And I personally learned a lot from being around that and watching that of what not to do. But yeah, it was, and he's getting there. I think it's getting there, and I think they've made some really good progress. And I think as time goes on, we're going to see how it unfolds. But I think they're going to be a much better team next year than they were this year. And he's made a lot of progress, that's for sure.
What sucks is the fact their schedule is so difficult this upcoming season.
Oh, it is. I was hearing about that.
Yeah,
they have a lot of hard road games, right?
Yeah, and they're facing like Oregon and Indiana, so it's gonna be.
When I look at a Cignetti and what he's done, he's just a no BS guy. Like everything, it feels like he's somebody that's constantly paying attention, constantly watching what's going on around him, and calling out the stuff that he doesn't like, and he's able to say the stuff that people don't want to say. This was funny. So I had an old like Snapchat memory pop up when I was at Northern Iowa. We played Cignetti when he was at JMU. We played him in the semifinals of the FCS playoffs, and he had a quote that was like, it was pretty disrespectful to our team. He ended up being spot on, but he had like kind of a disrespectful quote that we used as bulletin board material. So I had a picture of this quote that he had. Let me see if I can find it. I'll read it. This will take me about 15 seconds to find. 1 second. I'll read it.
Leave it to Cignetti to have a one-liner that you guys had as motivation even back then.
It's about a 10. So we put this up in our dome, in our field. We put this up on the Jumbotron before the game. He said, for having such corn-fed boys, most weighing north of 300 pounds on the O-line, they sure don't run the football a whole lot. If they score more than 14 on us, we truly played a bad game on defense. This should be an easier test for our D than Monmouth last week. No, seriously. I'm now genuinely wondering how they managed to win 10 games this season with an offense ranking this bad. He's always he never changed. He just, and I'll be honest, we didn't score 14 that game. He was right. And that's just kind of how he is, and it's cool to see somebody that just is himself and doesn't change. And I think that's why he's the character and why he's the person that he is, because he's just always been like that.
Straight shooter,
that's for sure. All right, I'm getting the music. We got to wrap it up.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on. This was fun.
Thanks for having me, you guys. This is fun.
All right, we'll see you later. Get a picture of it.